So, the soy boys at Polygon wrote a cancerous article titled, "Creatives are finally telling man babies to stay at home." Ben, mate, you're probably a man baby, and also you look like a right fucking beta cuck. Some very aggressive Battlefield fans are upset that the game includes woman, or has a woman on the cover. Some of them are convinced that woman didn't exist during the past, so putting them in a game set in the past is wrong. It's all kind of muddled. The general situation is that some gamers are upset about women existing, which is a pretty common event in gaming, but this time the anger is aimed at Battlefield 5. Right, Ben, so what you're saying is that all gamers hate the woman, which is a load of shit. We don't hate women or the fact that women exist. What we hate is the fact that DICE has put a handicapped British woman fighting on the front line. What's notable is the response of some members of the creative team behind the game. Battlefield 5 is a lot about the unseen, the untold, the unplayed. EA Chief Creative Officer Patrick Soderlund told Gamestra, "The common perception is that there were no women in World War II. There were a ton of women who both fought in World War II and partook in the war. Yes, there were women who partook in the war, but there were no British women fighting on the front line, especially handicapped women. Handicapped people in general probably weren't allowed to fight in the war." He goes on to state that the development team pushed for women to be included in the game, that his daughter doesn't understand why people are upset, that both men and women want to play as women, and that's just the way gaming is these days, before he gets to the real point. "And we don't take any flack," Soderlund stated. "We stand up for the cause because I think those people who don't understand it, well, you have two choices. Either accept it, or don't buy the game. I'm fine with either or, it's just not okay." Well, I know what I'm doing. Seriously though, why would a company like EA, who are known for using scummy business practices to get as much money as possible, say, either accept it or don't buy the game, and that they're fine with either? Basically, he's just said that he doesn't care that Battlefield 5 will be a huge flop that will lose EA millions. Then the article goes on about Star Wars or some shit, I didn't really read it. So now we are going to go on to another shitty article, this time from the BBC, titled, "At E3, Video Gaming's Bigots Have Lost," written by Dave Lee. I mentioned this about the author of the last article, but come on, your boy Dave here looks like a proper fucking beta cuck. Just look at him. 4 years ago, a row hit the games industry like an atomic bomb. The treatment of women within both the industry and the games themselves was being scrutinized like never before, and as journalists predicted that gamers are over, an angry and at times vicious movement emerged, Gamergate. The thing is, Gamergate wasn't even about women, it was about having less biased game journalism. Supporters of Gamergate would say it's about ethics in game journalism, but it was quite openly more often than not about something else. Women, minorities, and hatred of so-called social justice warriors, the SJWs, as if social justice was something to be avoided. Dave, mate, firstly, Gamergate was about ethics in game journalism, and also, you clearly don't know what SJWs are. It was a row that would go on to consume lives and careers, creating celebrities of the likes of Milo Yiannopoulos as it went. In many respects, Gamergate was a dress rehearsal for what we refer today as the alt-right. Honestly, Dave, are you off your fucking tits? Gamergate was about less biased game journalism, not some fucking edgy teens sat at their computer in their mum's basement. I'd been at E3 in June 2014, just before Gamergate really took hold, and in summing up that year's show, I concluded that the industry still had a problem with women, despite a new momentum and demands for progress. The show's lowest moment was in learning that that year's new Assassin's Creed game would have 4 playable characters, all of them male. Ah, men! Disgusting, kill it with fire. Seriously though, who fucking cares that they were all male? Who fucking cares? The following year, 2015, I went back to E3. I was curious to see how the industry would react. Yet despite the fire and fury online, I felt as if absolutely nothing had changed. I wondered, what were the games companies doing? Were they afraid? Were they conflicted? No, it's the fact that the games started development a few years before they were announced at E3, which is why nothing had changed, you fucking idiot. A friend in the gaming industry took issue with my view. Games take time, he told me. Let's see where we are in a few years. Firstly, I am surprised you even have friends, and yes, that is true. Games do take time. Also, I'm going to skip on further into the article because it's way too long and I can't be fucked to read it all. Across town, at an event hosted by EA, there's a line of people baking under the LA sun in hope of getting a chance to play Battlefield 5. For the first time, players will be able to play as a woman in that. Yeah, which is a load of fucking shit. When news of the new game was published online, a backlash ensued, with some fans left incensed that adding women into the game would not be historically accurate. A hashtag #NotMyBattlefield was born. Yes, That's because it's not historically fucking accurate.
One of the most anticipated games this year is Battlefield 5.
Nah, not really.
While this one is still set in World War II, it includes a woman with a prosthetic arm, which has some players saying this is historically inaccurate.
Yeah, that's because it is historically inaccurate. That's fucking true saying that you can't rewrite history for your own agenda, and if you want a game to be inclusive and diverse, you shouldn't set the game in the 1940s.
We're committed to create a new kind of Battlefield where again you can play like how you want and who you want. So where this comes from we don't know. We're just committed to create this game this year.
Right, so this soy boy here is saying that they're committed to create a new kind of Battlefield. If you're gonna do that, then don't make it about World War II. EA are saying that it will tell untold stories, but how can we believe them if they're already trying to rewrite history? You can tell this woman doesn't play video games because there's a keyboard and mouse right in front of her that she could use, but instead she's using an Xbox One controller. Okay, I can understand like customizing your character, but in World War II there weren't women on the front line, and people probably didn't have war paint on their face either.
To each their own. If you don't agree with it, I mean, you know, don't play it, or play it and just suck it up.
You sound like Patrick Soderlund.
Even if it's not historically accurate, who cares?
Every fucking Battlefield player.
And if it makes more females want to play video games, then go for it.
Well, as they're pandering to women, they might as well make a kitchen DLC while they're at it.
Some people are gonna be like, oh my god, there's a woman, like back then, like taking place, there was more men. Why are they putting a woman in this? Like, what are they doing? But I'm totally for it.
To be honest, the BBC probably cut out the interviews where people had a different opinion.
Do you think that in the future a lot more games are going to kind of put away with historical accuracy and include more females, include more female amputees?
No.
So I think the big thing is there will always be games that are historical accurate, and there will be games that create new and unique universes. And in this case, in Battlefield 5, we were very much inspired by the Second World War, but we want to tell those untold stories.
That how can we believe? Because you want to tell the untold stories, but you're trying to rewrite history. The thing with Assassin's Creed Odyssey is, it's not recreating a war or something like Battlefield 5, and it's not meant to be entirely historically accurate.
Alexios or Cassandra.
So, who's excited to play as a 20-stone pink-haired lesbian non-binary person in Battlefield 5? Because if I can, I will be really offended. So, tell me what your thoughts on Battlefield 5 and these cancerous articles below in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.